Matthew Brown, don't know my fight record. I've fought for the UFC for the last 10 years and tons of other promotions before that. Actually, I seen Pride before I seen the UFC, as a matter of fact. Yeah, the first time I seen it, man, I was blown away, and I was like, this is a real thing. Like, this is what I've always wanted to see in my life. You know what I mean? Like, this is, I remember very well, like, immediately I forgot about, I dropped watching football and basketball, whatever other sports. Like, I was like, there's nothing else. Like, this is all that there is now. This is what it is. This is what sport is about. There was a gas station parking lot fight, right? They put up a cage in the gas station parking lot. The promoter was a friend of mine. He got me a fight. This was an amateur fight. It was in a very, very small town. And this is when the commissions first started and everything. Like the fight scene was still very low, or very young. For whatever reason, the doctor didn't show up, or the ambulance or something, right? Somebody didn't show up, so the commission's like, look, you can't put these fights on. Well, the promoter's like, well, screw you, I'm putting the fights on. I got my friends here. We're having this fight, whether you like it or not. The commission's like, well, you're gonna get suspended. You're never gonna put on fights again, or for however long, right? Anyway, so he said, I'm putting on the fights. Well, so now the commission's like, okay, well, we're leaving. We're not having no part of this. This is illegal, or whatever. I don't remember. But regardless, there's no commission. So I'm warming up. Well, the locker room was the gas station bathroom, and then I'm warming up like in the gravel, next to the gas station. And this dude, that I'm fighting, he's just staring me down. He's calling me names and stuff. He's like, he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up and all this. So anyway, so I get in there and fight. First round, takes me down, puts me against the fence, cuts me open with an elbow. This is an amateur fight. So weren't technically supposed to elbow, but again, there's no commission. Like, I knew the referee. He's like, whatever, just go fight, right? He's calling me names. He's like, you're a faggot. I remember him. He kept saying that. He kept saying, you're a faggot. I'm gonna fuck you up. Cut me open a couple times. Get up in between rounds, and I looked at the ref, and like I said, I knew the ref, and he's like, I was like, I didn't even have a corner or anything, so he comes over and helped me with the water, gave me a little bit of water, and while he's giving me some water, he goes, hey man, whatever you want to do, man, it's a free for all, He's like, you don't have to, play by the rules, He's like, fuck this guy, right? This is the ref telling me this while he's giving me water. And so the second round comes out, the dude shoots in, I sprawled real good, stood up and just soccer kicked the fuck out of his face, man, just stomping him. And the ref was like, I kind of looked over at him like right before I did it, and he's like, go ahead. Yeah, I'd say more than anything, focus was there, clear-minded. Mentally that was my best state I've ever been in, and that, not to say like I've been in a bad mental place other times, but just to be able to put together a streak like that, or to be able to win consistently in the UFC period, like, you just got to be firing on all 8 cylinders, and just at that time I was. And it's not that I wasn't other times. There was other times I was firing on all 8 cylinders too, and maybe didn't come away with the victory, but those were certainly a good time in my life, and I wasn't, I had the right team around me. The family life was there and was good. The mental focus was there. So everything was, again, it was just all 8 cylinders firing very well. Where we talk about it all the time, man. Like, life is what's hard, right? The fighting is easy. So you know, you know, life takes a lot of different twists and turns, man. No, I like having a nice platform. I like having a platform to be able to express myself, and you know, I think I have some value to offer the world, and I think that you know, I'm a positive person, and I think I can help motivate others, and especially coming from like the small town that I come from, the life that I come from, the trials that I've been through. I think I can certainly be a motivator for a lot of people. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. I enjoy the platform, and you know, it comes with pros and cons. There's certainly a downside to it, but you know, I enjoy it. Love Lawler, man. You know, he's a savage, and we had a great fight. You know, unfortunately, I came out barely on the losing end. I felt like I won that fight, but you know, it was pretty close. So it is what it is.
Do you have to, like, when you go to fight Robbie Lawler, or do you have to like mentally take yourself to a place where you're like, this could get, or are you just ready no matter what?
No, I mean, I was in the same mental place I was in any other fight.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably more relaxed for that fight than just about any other fight. I'm more or less, I didn't beg, but I've strongly pushed towards the Demian Maia fight, and specifically because I knew that he was the worst matchup for me. And that's where, again, my motivation for the sport is just different than everybody else. Like the culture that we live in is all about wins and losses. And that's not really what I'm about. Like, I want to go in there and I want to fight, and I want to fight people that threaten victory for me, you know, and that's how you learn. That's how you get better. That's how you progress. And my jiu-jitsu has gotten way better since fighting Demian Maia. And I'd love to be able to go in there and try it again, and see if I'm better now, and see that if I can hang with them. You know, to me, it's not solely about wins and losses. It's about exploring yourself and finding where your thresholds are, and finding who you truly are. But yeah, my kids, they've been to my fights before. They've been in the octagon before, after the fights. They were in the octagon after I fought Diego, after I main evented and fought Eric Silva. Yeah, they love coming to my fights. They talk to me all the time. They ask me all the time when I'm going to fight again. They're big fans. They love watching the sport. They play the game, the UFC game.
Do they play you?
Yeah, I won't let them use anybody except for me.